As we've reported, 1 in 6 Oregonians rely on SNAP. That's higher than most states across the U.S., despite a higher minimum wage here.
Yeah, a lot of people want to know why this is. Katu's Vasily Varlamos joins us live in Salem now, and experts say SNAP is much more accessible in Oregon than in other states, Vasily?
Yes, Steve, that's because over the past decade, the state has made it a priority to expand outreach and make sure those who are eligible for benefits know they are. Back in 2012, Oregon had one of the worst food insecurity rates in the nation.
At that time, a lot of reforms happened that continue to the present day that really changed several key pieces of how the SNAP program is administered at the state level.
The state took action, loosening work requirements in high unemployment areas and allowed more retailers like farmers markets to accept SNAP. State agencies also trained nonprofits and food banks to help people apply.
We actually did a lot there to make help available, and during that time we saw a dramatic decline in the rate of food insecurity. Sadly, it made a U-turn when COVID hit.
But there are also economic factors contributing to the high percentage of need. Oregon's unemployment rate is 5%, nearly a full point higher than the national average. Plus, a high share of seasonal, low-wage jobs, along with the high cost of living, further explains Oregon's reliance on the program.
The confluence of those two factors really means that we're going to have a lot of SNAP-eligible individuals in Oregon.
Now, if the SNAP program loses federal funding in November, over 700,000 Oregonians would lose access to their benefits. Live in Salem, Vasily Varlamos, K2 News.
Thank you, Vasily. And the SNAP program has changed significantly over the years. We want to give you a look at how it started and how it got to where it is today. So here's a brief history and how the economy has impacted participation. Program started in 1939 during the Great Depression, lasted a few years until 1943 when the economy improved. A new pilot program launched in the early 60s and became permanent a few years later. The program rapidly expanded in the 70s, and there was more legislation about eligibility. By 1974, the program was nationwide, and by the early 80s, there was more scrutiny and some cutbacks. It also brought about the electronic system known as EBT. By the mid-90s, more than 27 million people were on SNAP, a record high. Participation varied until it spiked during the Great Recession from 2008 to 2013. The participation rate slowly declined until just before the COVID pandemic. And last year, SNAP served about 41 million people every month.